everybody. This is Tim Sutton here, bringing you a new perspective. If you're not familiar with the show, this is our 20th episode of this season, and I'm a law enforcement officer in Virginia, and we do a lot of work with individuals with disabilities. We talk about disabilities. Everybody has abilities, sometimes amazing abilities, but they just do things really differently. And it's helped shine the light on what people are able to do and how to do it differently. And I bring people in who live different disability journeys, so it's autism, intellectual disabilities, seniors, other things to mention, but anybody who's dealing with those disabilities. And tonight's a little bit different. I'm bringing somebody that you don't get to see very often. And let me fix this, try to get this camera straight. But I was walking through Walmart the other day. I noticed that they had already started to, hey, everybody, this is Tim Sutton bringing you a new perspective. I am, just so you're aware, a law enforcement officer in the state of Virginia. And for the past 19, 20 years, I've done a lot of work with individuals dealing with disabilities, or as I would call differabilities. And I bring people on the show, whether they are dealing with autism, living the autism journey, some other intellectual differability, or even Alzheimer's and dementia. And I would encourage you next week to tune in. We've got a great guest coming on. But I was walking through Walmart a couple of days ago and noticed that Walmart was already putting up the decorations for Christmas, even though it's right at the end of September, first part of October. And it really got me thinking, because last year, this nonprofit that I work with, a betterunderstanding.org, we had a Christmas party here in the Richmond area for individuals with disabilities. And we actually had sensory Santa Claus. Santa came down, and as well as Mrs. Claus, and met with a bunch of the individuals there, had toys for all of the individuals, the kids that showed up. And I got to thinking, we're having it again this year on December 11th here in the Richmond area from noon to 4 p.m. at the Moose Lodge in Mechanicsville. But I thought it would not be a bad idea to reach out and see if I could make contact with Santa up in the North Pole and see how he's getting ready. He's going to make an appearance. He's coming back to see everybody in December for this event that we're having. And I just wanted to touch base with Santa and have him fill us in on some things. I know he's been to one of my trainings, and we're going to talk about some of those things. So right now, I'd just like to introduce Santa Claus, Sensory Santa Claus.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. How are you, Tim?
I'm doing just fine, Santa. I appreciate you being here. And I guess you, where you are, it's always Christmas.
Oh, yes, definitely. The house is always decorated. Always got the fireplace going. It's where I love to be. But I also love to be helping the young people, young adults with the autism, Alzheimer's, and I'm ecstatic about the new programs and the party that's coming up in December. I can't wait. I enjoyed myself last year, and I hope everybody else did.
Oh yeah, you were there the whole time. I thought you'd have to do a little visiting and take off and get back to the North Pole, but you were there the whole time. I got to do a show with you from the event, which was pretty awesome. But what did you think about the event? I know you had Mrs. Claus with you. She came down, and I got to meet a lot of the kids and everything. So how do you feel about that event? How do you think it went?
I thought it went real well, and I'm always looking for bigger and better things, and I think this year is going to be bigger and better.
Oh yeah.
I'm inviting everybody that sees this or don't see it, tell somebody about it, and have them come and enjoy themselves. Take pictures with myself and Ms. Claus, and toys will be passed out. And I think it'll be a fun time of games and
lots of food.
Yeah, don't forget the food.
And we got to make sure we got the cookies there. Got to have the cookies there. Absolutely. Does Ms. Claus like cookies as much as you do?
She likes to bake them. She don't eat them as much as I do.
Okay. Happy Santa, happy wife, right?
Yes, this is true.
So what are you doing? I know you had a good introduction and working with a lot of people with disabilities last year, but what have you been doing? Not just for those with disabilities, but everybody. How are you preparing, and how's everything coming along in the North Pole for this Christmas?
Everything's coming along pretty good. The elves are extremely busy.
Oh, I
Here
bet.
in the next couple of months, I mean, they'll just be just wide open, getting everything done, checking, making sure that I have the list, checking it twice. The naughty and nice list, of course.
I hope the nice list is a whole lot longer than the naughty list.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. It
Still,
has been in
hey,
the past.
still a couple months to make up for it, I guess.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Got to continue being
is
nice
Miss
and good and being helping other people, being kindness, showing kindness to other people is a big part of it.
Oh, no doubt.
Monetary things are one thing, but the actual actions of the person and being smile on your face, or as myself, putting a smile on somebody else's face.
Well, that smile can go a long ways. There's no
Yes,
doubt
it
about that.
does.
So do you think this year is Mrs. Claus going to make the trip, or do you have to head down here by yourself?
I'm gonna have to make sure that she makes it. I mean, she made it last year. I'm gonna make sure that she is. Try to do it every year.
Right.
I think this is a fantastic program, and it's well worth coming to visit and being with us and enjoying the festivities.
Right. Right. Well, I know recently you actually, I don't know if the viewers will believe it or not, but you actually came here to Richmond and attended one of my trainings because you wanted to know, you knew some about sensory issues with individuals with disabilities, and specifically autism and all. And, and I admire you for wanting to know more and more. And just all those years you've interacted and dealt with kids and adults with disabilities. And what did you take away from the training? I think you were in a class that was 4 hours. I actually taught 4 hours of autism, intellectual disability, as well as Alzheimer's, dementia. Are there some things you took away that you really were not aware of before you came to the class?
Yes, there was. And to put it all in a nutshell, just being more compassionate and a better understanding is the website. It's what it is. I mean, it's fantastic. I learned so many different avenues that I didn't know.
Right.
Yes, I knew a lot about it, but I'm always willing to learn that much more.
Right.
That much more. And I learned quite a bit that I didn't know. To actually pinpoint the exact things that I did learn from it is kind of hard because we covered a lot of material.
Right.
We covered a lot of material, and you were a fantastic speaker,
Well,
and
thank
I
you.
thoroughly enjoyed it. And if anybody gets the opportunity to come in onto a session, I think it'd be to their benefit.
Right. And
Yeah.
I guess the hands-on stuff, November, December, you get to actually interact face to face with a lot of children, and you're not seeing them on a daily basis. And then when you come in on Christmas Eve, most of them are asleep or they're sneaking
Right.
around trying to get a glimpse of you. So the actual hands-on face to face meetings, it could be very difficult depending on the child, depending on the individual. And if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Every single one's different.
This
But
is
as you
true.
sit there and are introduced to the kids and they come up, some of them may have little behaviors that you're just not they're just different,
Yeah.
peculiar,
I
and being
mean,
able to pick up on those.
might be nonverbal,
Right.
and so on, or have I guess touching issues,
Right.
contact or whatever issues, and you've got to recognize that. You just can't reach out and grab them or whatever else. Kind of lay your hands out and let them
Let
put
them
their
make the
hand in
move.
yours. Then you have that contact with them, and you have that one-on-one that is so important.
Right.
And it is a total experience for them as well as for myself.
And for the
It's a
parents.
blessing that I can do this.
Right. And there are some kids that I'm sure you've run across, the typical neurotypical child wants to come and come up to Santa and hug him or hop up in your lap. And there are some children out there that are dealing with the sensory issues that they don't necessarily want that. They want to have an interaction with Santa Claus, but there's certain things that really they don't want about it. They don't want to sit in your lap, or they don't want this. They don't want you to touch them. And it's great. And I appreciate you coming to the class. I know the class was amazed to have Santa Claus in the class, but
I think they were kind of shocked themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's not something you see every day, but it gives you a better understanding of those children, because those children, a lot of them want the same thing everybody else wants. And, when the child comes up, things might be a little bit different. And I know you shared a story about before coming to the class about a child that you met who specifically came up and did not want you saying ho, 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 as odd as it sounds, because that's what Santa Claus says. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the young lady kept walking back and forth and wanted to come to see me, but was apprehensive about coming to see me.
Right.
And she just walked back and forth, and she kept looking at me. She said, "Please don't say ho, ho, ho. Please don't say ho, ho." I put my hands out to her, and I said, "Come on in, and I won't say those words." And she finally come on in. Young lady was about 12, 13 years old, and she had never seen Santa up close or been around Santa because she was scared of him. And I found out later that her parents said that she had never been to see Santa or took pictures with Santa.
Wow.
And I was so blessed to have that opportunity and was able to talk to her for 10, 15 minutes. And it was a blessing to me.
Right.
And it was a blessing to her parents, because her parents got to crying. Oh, yeah. And I teared up. I mean, she was just a delight to talk to.
Right.
So, now, I'm hoping that, she has other experiences.
Right.
That helped her with some other experiences she might have.
Right. And it made a huge impact on her. And I'm sure the parents were just, amazed.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's the first pictures that they had of her with Santa.
Wow.
12, 13 years. I mean, they were just ecstatic.
Yeah. And you could,
I actually had the parents come in and take a picture with her.
Oh, wow.
And, it made it a family event. It was about her. It wasn't about me. Right. It was about her and her family. And I just, that's the part that I enjoy probably some of the most, of the touching situations. And you're able to connect with somebody that hadn't been able to connect with with Santa.
Right. And it's just the fact that you had some knowledge on kind of what not to do or how to address it. And that's what I tell officers and other individuals when we interact with people, specifically with autism or another disability, if they're non-speaking or, they can't hear, they have hearing disability. They're not going to change the way that they interact or they respond. It's up to us, whether we're wearing a uniform or whether we're Santa Claus or whoever, when we approach them, we've got to adapt to them. And, there's not a lot of that going on. And I know that's tough for parents because they want their children to have the same experiences as all the other children. They want those same experiences, to be able to take the picture of their child with Santa Claus. And, I would dare say those parents probably took their daughter to Santa Claus, not expecting to have a very positive encounter and interaction, but you recognizing the issue, you conformed to what that child needed and gave that whole family what they needed. And it should be commended. And everybody loves Santa Claus. It's just everybody might love Santa Claus in a different way.
Yeah. Well, I was glad I was able to do that. And, we have different instances all during the year.
Right.
That people come up to you and they sneak up to you and try to touch you and
Yeah.
different things, and then they kind of run away a little bit and or
Right.
shy away. I said, all that's real cute. I said, but at that point, you've got to evaluate and how to adjust yourself,
Right.
because they don't know how to adjust.
Right.
They only know one way of life, and it's been my blessing to be able to do that.
Well, that's awesome. And you've got some other events coming up here in the Richmond area, my understanding, in one of the counties over. Do you want to fill people in on that if they want to come see you?
Well, I'll be at Alturia Farm in King William the week of Christmas.
Okay.
It'll be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, from 4 till 9 at night. There'll be carriage rides, and there will be dinners and brunches, and it'll also be on Sunday the 18th. So it'll be
Okay.
18th through the 23rd.
Okay. So we have the party on the 11th from noon to 4. That's a Sunday.
Right.
You're gonna have a busy, and I guess your business as far as making appearances and I guess photo ops and things like that. You're already rolling here at the 1st of October.
Oh yes, I've already had several photo shoots.
Okay.
And they've been fantastic. I'm hoping to be able to make a couple more before the season really gets kicked off. And I look forward to seeing everybody, especially at the party in
Right.
December the 11th at the Moose Lodge in Mechanicsville.
Well, awesome. Any chance of well, they'll probably be resting up, but any other reindeer possibly going to show up, or they're probably up there training, getting ready for Christmas Eve.
I might try to bring an elf if
Okay.
Miss Claus will let me.
Okay, Miss Claus will let you.
If Miss Claus will let me.
I hope she's not cracking the whip. But what's she doing now? I bet you she's off. She already making cookies, or she do that year round?
Since I'm on this program, she's taking care of the reindeer for me this evening, so I can be able to do this program. And she makes sure that the elves and stuff are, got all the stuff that they need to make the toys.
Right.
And she's feeding them all. So it's not only feeding the reindeer, she's feeding the elves and all too, to keep them working.
Well,
and they're just doing such a fantastic job. Oh, hey, I can't forget Ms. Claus. I mean, she does a fantastic job to keep me straight.
Well, I'm sure it's not an easy job.
No, it's not. You figure I'm all over the world, bouncing back and forth and all. She's got to keep me in line.
Well, I think she knows. I think she knows the good that you're doing, and how much you're helping people, helping families, and all. And I know you got. Are you working on getting a website up for your Sensory Santa Claus?
Yes, I am. That would be Sensory Santa Claus.
Is it .com?
.com.
Okay.
Correct.
So hopefully that'll be up and rolling.
I'm working on that.
Okay.
I'll have some of my scheduling and stuff on that. And like I said, look forward to seeing everybody, and look forward to emails coming in. I always enjoy them. Some of the parents, help the children with their letters, and some of them I get emails versus a letter.
Oh.
Letters are great.
Right.
But sometimes the parents don't have the time to do that, but they can sit behind that computer and pump it out real quick.
Right.
They just want to make sure that their child gets their gifts that they ask for.
Right. So how long have you? I know we refer to you as Sensory Santa. How long have you been working, or when did you first learn about dealing with some of the disabilities and stuff? How did that come about? Because even when you came to my class, you seemed to have a very good understanding of autism and sensory issues. How did that all start with you?
I guess back in early 80s, I belonged to another organization, and it's a Lions Club, and we deal with the blind and hearing impaired.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of put me out there to understand about some of the disabilities.
Right.
And with some of that, some of it is Alzheimer's and autism. Um, so the knowledge of having that, I had a young lady that uh, I come up to,
Mm-hmm.
and um, the grandmother told me to step away from her. She didn't know anything about Santa Claus.
Oh, wow.
And I told her, no, ma'am. I said, all children should know about Santa Claus.
Right.
And the young lady was blind. And
Yes.
I actually took her hands, gifted my hands to her and held her hands and put them
Right.
on my gloves and explained to her what it was, my coat and the fur, the glasses, the hat, and explained everything to her. Well, time that I'd finished talking to the young lady, I had everybody, in tears.
Right.
And, and to me, that is what it's all about.
Right.
Putting a smile on her face, explaining things to her, the
Right.
knowledge. It was fantastic. And, anytime I'm in a situation like that, I'm hoping that I'll handle it correctly.
Right. Right. Well, you have the knowledge to go on, and I think what's impressive is the fact that you're taking an active role in wanting to learn more and more. I mean, right now with autism specifically, it's 1 in 44 births, so there are a lot of
Right.
individuals with autism out there, and a lot of individuals with autism who are going to want to see Santa Claus, but it's going to need to be on their terms, and you're open to that. You're taking the time and the effort to letting them have their experience with Santa Claus and not pushing the Santa Claus experience on them. So each one is definitely unique.
Yeah, I'm not really well versed in computers and stuff, but I try my best. And I'm trying to take some online classes
Right.
of sign language and so forth to better my ability. Um, Spanish and languages and different things like that, because I need to speak these languages if
Right.
I'm traveling all
Oh
across the
yeah.
world.
Oh, no doubt.
So, and that's a plus. That's a
Right.
plus, and I hope I can continue doing that. And I learn more and more, um, just like coming to your meeting,
Right.
your presentation. It was fantastic. Yes, I might have knew quite a bit of what was going on, but it's always something new that you can learn. And I stress that to the young folks as well as adults, is to continue um, furthering your, I guess, knowledge of what's out there.
Right. Well, let me add, everybody's always asking Santa for what they want. And I want to know so you can share it with everybody because everybody, all the kids want to leave milk and cookies, milk and cookies. And just so everybody knows, what is your favorite cookie to eat? So some of these kids out there know to, you're spending all night all over the world and stopping by their houses. That's a lot of cookies to eat, but they may want to give Santa. They want to know what Santa's favorite cookie is. So how about letting the cat out of the bag?
I like a soft sugar cookie.
Okay.
I do like macadamia nuts and so
Oh, wow.
forth, but a lot of folks have the peanut allergies
Right, right,
or
right.
nut allergies. So, and the sugar cookies works fantastic for me.
Okay. So hopefully everybody got that memo right there. The sugar cookies, and you got to have the milk. You 1%,
Oh yeah,
2% whole milk. What's your preference?
whole milk.
Whole milk. You want the good stuff, right? No.
I got to keep this figure.
There you go. No almond milk or rice milk, right? None of that
No,
stuff.
no, the
You
real stuff.
want the good stuff, man. So what you have been around for so long and done so much for everybody since I was a kid, since our whole life, and it's Santa Claus, Santa Claus. What is your number one thing you want people to do and strive for? Obviously understanding and just that smile, but what do you want people to do and really focus not just on people with disabilities, but the whole population of this earth? What is your goal for everybody out there?
Being kind to everybody, all walks of life. it doesn't matter. Just being kind, taking the time to talk to somebody, taking the time to uplift them. Always a positive word.
Right.
I mean, that is, I can't ask for anything more than that. I
Right.
mean, that would be fantastic.
Well, Santa, we do appreciate you. We appreciate all the years you've been out there, and you are always focused on everybody else. And so I would ask people when they come to see you, whether you're at the mall, whether you're doing sleigh rides or whatever events, to come up and just thank you for who you are and what you've done and what you continue to do, because we've all been touched by you. We've all, anticipated Christmas, just waiting, waiting, waiting. We've tried to stay up as late as possible because we wanted to get a glimpse of you. And, but you're sneaky. You're sneaky. You're hard to find. You get in and get out and get your job done. And I know I never was able to.
So many houses to go to.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a busy night. So when you get done after Christmas Eve, do you get downtime? Do you like go to sleep, hibernate, or what do you do?
Well, it takes me a little while to wind down.
Right.
Because I extremely fast paced. Everything is just wide open that whole night. Right. And it takes me a while to wind down. And in order for me to go to sleep after all of that, actually, I do a little bit of warm glass of milk and a cookie. Then I just go right on off.
And I bet you it's a cookie that Mrs. Claus made, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Well, that is wonderful. Well, Santa, I appreciate you taking time to come be on my show. And what I'd like to do is, as we get closer to Christmas, maybe for this event on the 11th of December, bring you back and just catch us up again on how everything's going and how you're preparing, and whether you need whatever you need, we can do. I don't know what we can do to help you, but other than be loving and nice and kind to everybody. But I'd love to have you back on as we get closer. We can talk about the event again and let people know, come see us at the Moose Lodge in Mechanicsville, because we're going to have an amazing time. And I just appreciate you and who you are and what you're doing for everybody in the world.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here this evening, and I hope I made some light on what takes place in the year.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking an interest in what I do and teaching, and being pretty much an ambassador for what we're trying to do with the Better Understanding. Again, you can check it at betterunderstanding.org, and also as it gets up and running, centurysantaclaus.com. You'll be able to find out where Santa's going to be. Go see him. Go tell him how much you appreciate him. And I thank you for being here, Santa.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care. Well, everybody, I appreciate you being here. I know tonight was a little bit different. I was surprised I was able to get Santa. I know he's so busy, and the months leading up to Christmas, I'm sure are very hectic and just a lot going on and mass confusion. But it looks like he's got things under control. Still have him on the books for our event on the 11th of December. Please go to the website at betterunderstanding.org. There's a lot of information there. We'd love for you to register. We'd like to know who's coming, what kids, what things they like, because Santa wants to be able to give them a gift that they want. And he cares so much about everyone, but he does care about those with disabilities. And thank you again, Santa, for being here. And thanks everybody for being here, and hope you learned something and get to see a different side of Santa Claus. We don't really get to sit down and talk to him a whole lot. So thank you to everybody for being here. And Dad, I love you. Thanks for watching.